people want to talk about how, oh my gosh, you get disability benefits. It must be so nice to get free money, right? Or you live in HUD housing, so it must be so nice to have subsidized rent, right? You have food stamps. You don't know what it's like, do you? And part of it is conversations like this are so stigmatized. They're so, you should just shut up and be grateful for it, so don't talk about the negative things or the negative side effects of it. First one being, I don't get paid twice a week like everybody that works. I get paid once a month, $1,020 for rent, phone bill, gas, groceries, medicines, out-of-pocket medical expenses, any household items that I need throughout the month. That's all I get. And when that's gone, I don't get it again until the 3rd of the next month. Also, there's a certain amount of money you can make when you are on benefits before they tamper with your health insurance, or they tamper with your benefits. So, even if I want to get a job, I can't. Part of me also not being able to get a job is because of my housing. Yes, I have subsidized rent, but you see, my rent is based on every single penny that I earn. I cannot earn more than $200 extra a month, which does nothing in this economy. I cannot earn more than $200 extra a month before they increase my rent. What do they increase it by? I'd love to know. Because they have literally told me that if I were to get a job that makes more than $200 a month, I will not find out what my rent is going to be until I go downstairs to sign the lease agreement and agree to pay that amount. Food stamps, I get $40 a month. And don't get me wrong, I am blessed and grateful to get the amount that I do, but I went to Food City the other day, which is one of the cheapest grocery stores in my town. I bought 4 items and it was $20. That's half of my food stamps gone like that. You're not allowed to have money in your bank account. You get punished and have to pay back every penny you ever have over $2,000. You have to keep that money in your bank account. And if you stack a little bit of money in your bank account, but it's under that $2,000, I've gotten phone calls from Social Security. Hey, why do you have that much money in your bank account? I have quarterly inspections here where if my apartment is too cluttered, they can hit me with a lease violation. They literally told one of my neighbors, like this past inspection, she needed to get rid of some of her furniture or they will evict her. Like I said, if I get a job, while yes, the amount I can make, that won't mess with my Social Security, it will mess with my health insurance. I'm chronically ill and disabled. I don't need something messing with my health insurance. Because I'm already having to pay way more copays than I have been. I'm already having to pay way for my medications and things that I need again. I am literally monetarily scraping the bottom of the barrel every month just to survive. And my story is not the only one out there. If you talk to the majority of people who are on benefits, they will tell you the exact same thing. And the thing also is, you can't get married. You can, but you could lose your Social Security, your benefits, you could lose your health insurance. So you really can't get married either. Get a job, they'll raise your rent by an unknown amount. Get a job, they'll take away your health insurance. There's no possible way to get out of the system that they have built, no matter how hard you try, unless you magically find a job that's going to pay your rent, your health insurance, and all of that, which is a little hard to do nowadays. Oh, and another thing, I get asked all the time, well, why don't you just save money? You're not allowed to. You're not allowed to save money. They will punish you for it. They will take what you have saved out of what they pay you. And quite frankly, I can't afford for anything else to be taken out. I'm sick of people talking about how, oh my gosh, that must make your life so much easier, right? No, because I live under all of these rules, all of these strict rules. I can't have money, I can't make money, or I lose my housing, potentially. I can't make money or I lose my health insurance. If it's too cluttered or I'm having a bad day, it's a lease violation. Like, God forbid you try and get a job on disability. it's not fair, and y'all gotta start giving people like me grace instead of being like, well, you should just be thankful for what you have. I am thankful. I am. But I also recognize how we could be doing so much better for people like me.
Family, oh my goodness, there is so much that I have to say about this situation, what we just heard. But while I'm giving my thoughts, I want you to get in the comments. Let me know what you think. Only thing I ask over here is keep it respectful. Don't go crazy on this young lady in the comments. Let's keep it respectful. Let's give her some wisdom, and let's have a good time at the same time. So while y'all giving y'all thoughts in the comments, I gotta dive into this, man. So first thing I gotta point out, y'all, is this right here, what we just heard, to me, is a poster child example of what is known as learned helplessness. And some of you may be wondering, like, yo, Jay, what in the world is learned helplessness? It's when somebody is facing a situation that they genuinely couldn't control. And then as a result of that, they adopt a mindset of nothing that they do matters. That's kind of where this woman is, right? Chronically ill, disabled, and it put her in a position where she had to be reliant upon the government or the system in order to what? To have housing, in order to have insurance for her health, and to be able to cover her food. But now, as she's realizing, there is a ceiling. There's a ceiling on what she can do, where she can go, how much money she can make. And instead of realizing, oh my God, hold on, like you're putting a ceiling on me as long as I stay under this quote unquote system, and I got to follow all of these rules that are going to limit you. This is a reality for so many people, especially people that are living in or on assistance, right? Whether it be healthcare, whether it be food benefits, disability, like you can go down a list. There is automatically going to be a cap on it. Why? Because they cannot provide for people in an unlimited capacity. There are limited resources that the system has to apply to multiple people that are suffering through the same fate. But here's the caveat. You do not have to be trapped in that system forever. You can leave, you can exit. The choice is always yours. But y'all know the word that kept being repeated over and over and over and over and over again. Can't. I can't make more money. I can't save more money. I can't do this. I can't do that. I can't do this. When you only have $1,000 a month, bruh, like I can't even envision being limited to only making $1,000 a month. That's crazy. That's like $250 a week. What are we talking about? And you get $40 for groceries? I really don't know how you surviving out here. I don't know. Like, how? How are you making it on $40 a month on groceries? I will say this, though. I can understand to a certain extent her experience, because the way I feel like her and some people that are, dependent on the system, they use it as a crutch. But I know the feeling. Maybe you can relate. For me, faith was a crutch for me for a long time. When I was starting my entrepreneurial journey, when I was doing freelance work, I had taken that leap from corporate America, and I was working, but I didn't really put in as much work as I could, because I'm like, I believe in God. I know that God is a blesser, like he gonna pour down these blessings on me, and he gonna help me to, be able to make as much money as I was making at the job. But guess what? Multiple years went by and it wasn't happening. My wake up call was a video by Eric Thomas. Shout out to E.T., the hip hop preacher. I saw a video from him, and it challenged me that as a believer, you can do something. You can do more. There's nothing wrong with putting in more work as a believer. It does not negate your faith in God. You can still have faith in God and still go and be about your business and put in work. I was like, you know what, God? In my mindset, my faith-based mindset at the time, I was like, yo, that's hard. No, we supposed to have faith in God that he gonna just provide everything. But I was like, you know what, God? I'm gonna challenge you. And it was weird. It was the first time, I would say, when I was really steeped in that religious mindset, that I took a step outside of that. And I was like, you know what? I gotta kind of get bold with God and say, you know what, God, I've been waiting for years for this blessing, but hey, listen, I'm about to try this. I'm gonna test you, God. I'm gonna test you, and that's literally what I said. I'm gonna test you in the sense of I'm gonna put in more work this week. And instead of just waiting on you to bring more money, I'm gonna put in more work. And you know what happened? I made more money. And in that was it shifted everything in my life. It shifted everything because I realized, oh, this is what they mean when they say faith without works is dead. I would quote that scripture all of the time, but wasn't really living it. And that's what happens to so many people. They get so dependent on that crutch to not realize that it's temporary. Like, yo, you can leverage that crutch for a temporary time in your life. But at some point, when you know you need, you want, you desire, and you deserve better, you got to be willing to do what's necessary. And for me, that meant, hey man, I ain't gotta sit back and wait on God to provide. For me, I can have my faith in God and I can go out there and work, put in more hours. And that took me from a place where, like her, I was making a 250, 300 some dollars. And this was years ago, a month, a week. And that began to double. I was like, whoa, hold on. You telling me I spent all of these years making this little bit of money because I placed this ceiling on myself. It was faith for me. It's the system for her and so many other people. But you can break that ceiling. And when you break that ceiling, oh my God, you will thrive. Then you will realize that there's nothing stopping you from getting rich. There's nothing stopping you from building wealth. No matter how low you may feel like you are right now in this moment, like sky is the freaking limit. If you are willing to break through that ceiling, if you're willing to focus on your ceiling, a ceiling that you are aspiring to, and not allowing a system to put a ceiling over you. That right there is the key. But why is it a challenge for so many people? Why? It's something that you hear. I think in psychology they call it like the dichotomy of control. But for me, I just believe it's more about controlling the things that you can control. When you're in that system that she's talking about, that ceiling, those rules, they strip you of control. But you still have the choice to say, you know what? I see the rules. I see that. I'm limited with the control. But as a American with freedoms and the ability to go and take advantage of all of these opportunities available for me to thrive, there is no damn way I am going to stay here. Young lady, anybody in a situation like that, chronically ill, disabled, I understand. That puts you at a limitation. But guess what? There are so many jobs. There are so many quote unquote side hustles or businesses that can be done remotely that you can do right there. And I'm going to just keep it a buck. If you can pull out your phone and record this TikTok video, you could spend an hour a day developing a skill that you can translate into income. If you can do this, you can do that. The question is, whether or not you're willing to do it. It's your choice. And I understand why there's apprehension because there is risk involved. Even when I had to take that faith leap, that testing God, that was a risk. Being bold and saying, hey, God, I'm putting you to the test. There's a risk there. Maybe it backfires. Same thing here. When you say, you know what? I don't want to make $1,000 a month and only have $40 for groceries every month for the rest of my life. That may mean you got to take some risks to get to a point where you no longer have to do that. Because here's the thing, and this is the sad reality. I got to say it if nobody else will tell you, nobody's coming to save you. And things are only going to get worse for people who are in this position of allowing their self to be controlled by a system that they can leave whenever they choose to. And I know people are going, like, no, I can't. But that goes back to my original part. Learn helplessness is when you say you can't do something, but you can. So I would advise anybody in a position like this, stop waiting for the system. Remove that ceiling. Take that risk and exercise the freedom to change your life and thrive. It is right there before you if you are willing to do the work, if you're willing to take the risk on yourself, if you're willing to invest in yourself, develop a skill that will allow you to thrive in this world. That's my take. I would love to hear yours in the comments if you haven't shared it already. Until next time, I'm Jay. Stay blessed.